Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. By the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting Tim Allen October 24th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. And by Alaska Airlines, 80 nonstop destinations and growing. Some of the fans here at Safeco Field enjoying the night with Moose Banks. That's right. All the kids 14 and under getting a Moose Bank so they can begin saving for future trips out to the ballpark here at Safeco Field to cheer on the Mariners. I am just slightly over that age 14 limit, but there you go. There's your Moose Bank. Kids happy with that tonight. Happy, of course, if the M's get a win tonight over the Angels. Speaking of winners, how about our Tuesday Twitter winners? A bunch from last evening, and there you go. Boy, those folks have some nice prizes. A large pizza from Pizza Hut, a Bluetooth speaker, a Cruise bobblehead, prize pack blanket. Terrific stuff. Be sure and watch next Tuesday for your chance to win on Twitter Tuesday right here on Root Sports. Baseball right around the corner. The series finale between the Mariners and the Angels. Stick around. There's more coverage coming your way from Safeco Field on this Wednesday night in Seattle right here on Root Sports.
Another cool night here from downtown Seattle outside of Safeco Field. Glad you could join us, as always, for Mariners baseball on Root Sports. Glad everybody made it. Well, everybody getting ready inside the dugout as we are moments away from first pitch. And Mike, with that in mind, how about a look at the Angels starting lineup?
Floor manager Mike Zosha leading things up. It's going to be David Murphy. David Murphy with a 3-run home run in last night's ballgame. That was the big hit. Back in the leadoff spot again tonight. Then it's Calhoun Trout with his 36th home run on the year. He'll bat third. Alba Pujols, the DH, batting cleanup against Iwakuma. Not too much, just a 182 batting average for him. Crone, Ibar, Freeze, Perez, and Ryan Jackson round out the 9 for the Angels. For Iwakuma on the year, looking for his 8th win. ERA just over 4. 83 strikeouts to 20 walks. Opponents hitting .240 against Iwakuma.
Asashi really pitching well lately. His first time seeing the Angels since right before the All-Star break here at Safeco Field. And what a night it was last night for Murphy, the 3-run homer. had good numbers against Felix in his career, and that's why he was at the top of the order, and he is back up there to begin tonight's ball game. Easy play for Iwakuma. 2 pitches, and they'll get the out. And Iwakuma fielding his position so well almost always, and surprisingly a little bit of a low throw.
Well, I think he realized he had plenty of time and took a little bit off of that throw. Ended up being wide, but a good play by Montero to stay with it. Take a look at the rest of the defense for the Mariners. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Trumbo getting the start in left field. Brett Miller out in center. Seth Smith in right. The Gold Glover, Kyle Seager at third base. Marte and Cano playing up the middle, as you just saw. Jesus Montero at first. And Jesus Sucre will do the catching this evening.
Tonight, the rubber game of the series. The Mariners winning game 1. The Angels winning last night 4-3 the final. The Angels have not been a good team on the road this year. They are tied for the fewest wins on the road in the American League. Yet they are 5-4 here at Safeco Field this year. A winning record in Seattle.
Aaron, you mentioned the start against the Angels before the All-Star game. It was a good one for Iwakuma. He ended up getting the win. He went 8 innings in that one, 3 hits. Did not give up an earned run. Had to throw just 101 pitches to get through 8 innings.
And Iwakuma really has pitched well over the course of his career against the Angels. This is his 12th start against Anaheim. He has an ERA just barely above 2.70 and 9 quality starts in 11 tries against Mike Scioscia's ball club. 2-2 to Calhoun. Felix getting the start last night. Was able to go 7 innings, but 4 runs on a couple of homers. We talked about the Murphy 3-run shot, Trout the solo blast that began the 6th. And Mike, even Lloyd said after the game he really felt like Felix had some good stuff in last night's game.
Well, I thought that he did. And then you look at the first 2 innings, he was able to go 1-2-3 in the first, 1-2-3 in the second last night, using all of his pitches in the first 2 innings. It looked that way. Unfortunately, it was a hit batter, a base hit. And then Murphy, a guy that has hit Felix well, hit his 4th home run in his career against Felix in last night's ballgame, the 3-run home run, and that proved really to be the difference.
Hard hit up the middle, and the Angels have the first base runner. Calhoun snaps it 0-for-17 slide. He's at first for Trout.
And this is the split. Talked a lot about Iwakuma lately, and Aaron mentioning that he's really pitched well, and a big reason why is his split. He's been able to get it below the strike zone. That one above the knees, and it was hit hard back up the middle. For Iwakuma, his fastball will be anywhere from 87 to 90 miles an hour. Obviously the great splitter. He also makes in a slider and a curveball.
We know Felix's changeup has kind of the dropping motion of a splitter. In fact, we hear so many times opposing hitters call it the split. Is there anything from the Angels standpoint? You see the changeup from Felix one night, the next night you see the splitter from Iwakuma?
I don't think so. I think that one of the reasons is the velocity of it. Iwakuma's splitter is going to be 81, 82 miles an hour. Felix's changeup is at 90, and it's only 3 miles an hour off of his fastball, maybe even 2 at times. Bigger separation from Iwakuma's fastball and his split finger.
Iwakuma falls behind Trout 2-0. Trout hit his 36th home run of the season last night. That went out towards center field off of the King. Well, for Trout, earlier this month he snapped what was a career-long 27-game homerless drought, and yet it still has 36 home runs and still plenty of time left to go this year. Right behind the heels of Gary DiSarcina, coaching at third base as usual. You can see the last 3 years here for Trout. Comparing the power numbers, and he's a home run away from passing what he did last year. Obviously a huge difference in the RBIs last year to this year, and well, when you're a part of the offense that scores more runs than anyone else like Trout was last season, you can understand why the RBI total is so much higher in 2014 than it is here in 2015.
Yeah, this year the Angels just 13th in the American League in runs scored, and they're 15th in batting average. Not as many opportunities.
Nice work there from Iwakuma. Trout
thought he fouled it off.
And Brian Honor, the crew chief, the home plate umpire, and here comes Mike Scioscia. Scioscia pretty convinced that he fouled it off too.
Well, he's going to fight for his best player. We'll take a look at it. I didn't see anything there. Another look here in our Alaska Airlines Supermo in the swing. Aaron, I don't know if you could see if the ball changed direction. It didn't look like it to me.
No, it doesn't.
And they're going to lose the argument as Trout goes back to the dugout. So the first strikeout for Iwakuma.
Looks like that ball stays on course, doesn't it?
I didn't see a change.
Trout was pretty convinced, though, as was Scioscia. He gets him on the splitter. So strikeout number 1 from Iwakuma. 2 outs. Calhoun, the single up the middle. He's at first, and in steps Albert Pujols. Pujols not great numbers against Iwakuma over the course of his career. The same could be said for a lot of this Angels lineup, in fact. Not many have hit him well.
That is more of the location that you want to see his splitter in. We saw it on the EQC tracer, down out of the strike zone. Similar pitch to the one he was able to strike Trout on.
Kuma had a ball and 2 strikes. Now the Angels entering tonight right now 3.5 games outside of the second wild card spot, which is now held by the Astros after Texas has won the first 2 games of that series in Arlington. Angels will have to leapfrog past the Twins and then into the second spot. So once again, this game, this series, very meaningful for the Angels. Anaheim does not steal a whole lot of bases, and that seems to be true almost no matter what the personnel looks like under Mike Scioscia.
We were talking about it earlier this year, and Trout not running as much as he used to.
And when he has run, he hasn't been very successful. 10 steals, been caught 7 times, which is surprising to see. But even when the Angels had Peter Borges, who at the time was maybe the fastest guy in baseball, that was really before D. Gordon and Billy Hamilton came into the fold around the league. Borges didn't run much. Just not something the Angels have done in recent years. Here comes a 2-2 to Pujols as he flicks it towards Trumbo in left field. A little bit of carry, but out number 3. Calhoun left stranded. Well, the kids enjoying the Moose Bank here tonight from Safeco Field. The giveaway as we go to the bottom of the first. The Mariners coming up. Jared Weaver making start number 23 on the season. It's his first start against the Mariners since opening day against the King right here at Safeco Field. And Mike will take a look at the lineup that he will face for the Mariners.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. Leading off, it'll be Ketel Marte. Kyle Seager's been a hot hitter. He'll bat second. The DH tonight. Nelson Cruz hitting third. Robinson Cano batting cleanup against Weaver. 372 in his career. Smith, Trumbo, Montero, Miller, and Sucre round out the 9 for the Mariners. For Weaver, it's been a tough year for him. 7 wins, but an ERA, 4.71 ERA for him, 77 strikeouts. Hasn't walked many, just 27 walks. Opponent's hitting 264, and he's given up 20 home runs.
Marte facing Weaver for the first time in his very young career. You're right, Mike. The numbers very high for Weaver. Has missed some time this year because of a hip injury. Had to go on the disabled list. Had a really rough month of June. He had an earned run average of over 6.5 in 4 starts, and then went on the DL.
When you look at it, 137 and 2/3 innings, 20 home runs against Weaver. Been a lot of talk about him and his fastball. His fastball average this year has been 83 miles an hour.
And Mike, just seeing Weaver's first handful of pitches tonight, maybe you can get a closer look at it. He doesn't seem to kind of be coming across as much as he used to. He had that crossfire motion, almost wound up at first base, but
which used to make him really tough on right-handed hitters. Could really hide the ball. And you're right, it's not nearly what it used to be. And with his fastball velocity at 83 miles an hour, you have to wonder how healthy he really is. Maybe he's had to make some adjustments because of it.
There comes the 2-2 to Marte. Murphy in left field once again tonight for the Angels for round number 1.
We'll take a look at it again for Jared Weaver over the last 6 years in the fastball velocity. You can see in 2010 he was right at 90 miles an hour all the way down to this year just under 85. And again, at times you'll see it 81, 82 miles an hour with his fastball. So pretty rapid decline for him.
Really, the amazing thing about Weaver, each and every year we talk about this. We talk about how the fastball continues to drop by 1 mile an hour, 2 miles an hour, as he now faces Seager and pours in a first pitch strike. And yet, until this point, he's really been able to still pitch with declining velocity. Last year, some good numbers, an ERA beneath 360 at the end of the year.
Well, I think the one thing that he has always done, even back in 2010 when he was at 90.
Punched to the gap. Right center. Calhoun off the wall. Seager chugging it to second base. And a stand-up double.
And Kyle gets an off-speed pitch, just 77 miles an hour. Looked like a changeup right in the middle of the plate. Solid line drive out to right center field. It hits off the base of the wall. But Weaver has always mixed it up. He even back then he would not give in to hitters. So he has the ability to still change speeds and move his location around. I think the high fastball is something where he's getting in a little bit more trouble because it just doesn't have that velocity anymore to throw it by you. We see similar to basically the stuff that Iwakuma has is where he used to be. And Iwakuma can pitch at the top of the strike zone at 87, 88 because of the split and the slider. And Weaver used to be able to do the same thing, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. That's just too much of a drop in velocity.
Well, to put his velocity in better perspective, the only pitcher in the game throwing a slower fastball right now is a knuckleballer, and that's R.A. Dickey. Dickey is the only pitcher with slower velocity. His is right around 81.5 miles an hour if you want to get a little nitty gritty with it. He is barely throwing a faster fastball than Mark Buehrle.
Well, and I think that the hope is that the Mariners can take advantage of that tonight. You have Iwakuma on the mound. He's pitched well. Get him a little bit of run support early. Kyle Seager, a good start with the double and just 1 out.
Off the handle and a 1-2 count. Weaver, despite the numbers that we've talked to you about, difficult numbers over the course of this year, he is coming off back-to-back quality starts against two very competitive teams, both the Rangers and the Astros. So pitching well his last couple of times. Big rip and a miss, and Cruz down on strikes.
.78 miles an hour. It's like a little slider in the middle of the plate.
Really, it's kind of funny when you think about it. The Mariners in game one of this series faced one of the hardest throwers in baseball in Garrett Richards. His average fastball was in the neighborhood of 96 miles an hour, and now facing Weaver, whose fastball is 20 miles an hour or less. Here's Cano with Seager at second base. Can that almost be tough to gear your bat to, Mike, when it's that slow?
Especially in today's game, guys just aren't used to seeing it. And again, he's going to move the ball around, and he'll throw a slider and a curveball changeup to go along with it. You just have to be patient, and more times than not, I think you have to think more in the middle of the field.
Perez once again to start tonight behind home.
We had somebody sitting in the booth with us a month ago, and Jamie Moyer, and he was able to have a long career, and his fastball probably about 84.
Cano up in the count. Now 2-1.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. Even though Cano's ahead in the count, he's not going to just give him that fastball in there at 84. A little bit of a wrinkle, 77 miles an hour.
Mariners trying not to waste the Seager double.
He tried to cut his fastball a little bit, get it in on the hands of Robinson. 83, probably just off the inside corner.
Mariners 9-5 in this month of September. Only the Mets and Dodgers have won more games this month in baseball. So the Mariners tie for the most wins in the American League. Full count to Cano. Now normally when you see 75 miles an hour you think curveball, but Weaver's curveball will be beneath 70 miles an hour. It'll be in the neighborhood of 66 to 67. Two out, Seager at second base. And a swing and a miss, and there is the curve. 68 miles an hour. Cano down swinging, and we go to the top of the second. 0-0. Mariners and Angels as we take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? It's coming up on the road trip, an off day for the guys tomorrow. Then it's on to Arlington. It'll be Paxton, Nuno, and Felix making the starts for the Mariners, and it won't be easy against the Rangers. Gallardo does not pitch deep into ball games, but pitches very well when he's out there. Hamill is the big deadline acquisition for John Daniels, and the Rangers has not been off the charts good, but has been solid for Texas. And then Hollins will rematch of Felix and the Dutchman at the end of that series.
And those are going to be some really important games. The Rangers, for the first time, woke up this morning in first place in the West.
How about that?
Is that amazing? Here we are on September 16th, and it's the first time they've been in first.
Crone leading off the top of the second. Really, it's even more incredible when you look at where the Rangers were when the Mariners were in Arlington at the end of April, and Texas had put together their worst offensive month in franchise history. And it almost felt like Jeff Bannister was already on the hot seat, and he was a month into his new job, and the turnaround for Texas has been remarkable.
And that's what their starting pitching staff out. You know, so if you look at it, they weren't going to hit, and then the pitching staff. But here's take a look at it right here. Texas Rangers right on top. Ended up beating the Astros yesterday. The Angels trying to hang in there. Mariners 8 back, but it's amazing how things can change. And then tonight, Houston, after losing yesterday, they have the best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in the American League going for him in Keuchel. And they took it to him. They batted around in the first inning tonight off of Keuchel.
Good look there at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. Ibar on the first pitch out to center field. Brad Miller roaming at center once again tonight for round number 2. Now Keuchel got absolutely shelled tonight, and this was not something you expected. And what you figure, Mike, was probably the biggest game of Dallas Keuchel's career, given the fact that this is the most relevant the Astros have been this late in his career. A career high 9 earned runs for the guy that you would maybe pencil in as a Cy Young winner in the American League. Over 4 2/3 innings tonight. He got shelled. Very surprising. 2 quick outs for Freese. In fact, Kuma's thrown just a handful of pitches so far. One and one. Now, when you see David Freese here tonight in his first at bat, you can't help but think back to last night when Felix threw a pitch that scraped that Angels patch on his leading shoulder, and both dugouts were warned. And we learned after the game that they were warned not because of Felix pitching inside, but because of Freese, as he was about to take the base at first, spoke to his own dugout, almost kind of mouthed off to his own dugout, and that was why the benches were warned.
Yeah, apparently he was upset because he was hit the night before by Taijuan Walker, and then last night it was just his sleeve. It didn't really hit him at all, but apparently he wasn't happy about it, and because of that, Alan Porter ended up giving out the warnings.
Very quick and tidy. 1, 2, 3. Top of the second. As we go to the home half, Mariners and the Angels scoreless. Field. Mariners and Angels scoreless so far tonight. Now, the Mariners and Major League Baseball proudly celebrate the life and legacy of Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente Day recognizes one player from each club who best represents the game of baseball through positive contributions both on and off the field. So a big congratulations to the Mariners' own Charlie Furbush for being named the Mariners 2015 award winner. And Charlie was out behind home plate for tonight's game before the first pitch, accepting that award. So good to see that from Charlie. One of the most likable guys you will find in any clubhouse. Seth Smith begins the bottom of the second. Two and nothing on Smith. Weaver was able to work around a one-out double off the bat of Seager in the first inning. Struck out Cruz and Cano to end things.
And here in the early going, it looks as if Weaver has better command of his off-speed pitches than he does his fastball.
Weaver now 32 years old, from Northridge, California, about 50 miles northwest of Anaheim. Smith, a leadoff walk. He'll take first base. We'll take a look now at our Geico this date in Major League history. Dave Winfield collecting hit number 3,000 off of Dennis Eckersley. Another Hall of Famer, Paul Molitor, hit number 3,000 with a triple in Kansas City. Both playing for the Twins. How many guys bigger than Dave Winfield, Mike?
Former teammate of mine. Yeah, you're right. Well, played basketball and football. Great baseball player for a long time.
Great teammate too, right?
Great teammate. Yeah. His class act all the way around. Still in the game. He's been in the game for a long time. But boy, intimidating is what he was.
No, there has to have been. He was a beast.
It's always a thrill when you're in the minor leagues and you get called up to play in one of the big league spring training games. The first time you're around the big leaguers, and that happened to me, and we ended up going to Fort Lauderdale spring training, home of the Yankees at the time. And I remember being at third base and him coming out to the box, and what he used to do is he used to basically rake the box out to the mound and back to the backstop. And it felt that at third base it felt like he was right on top of it and hit some vicious line drives.
Pop up to Freeze. And there is out number one. You wore one off the chest, didn't you?
I did. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, one hopper. I had never seen anybody hit a ball that hard.
Seriously?
Seriously. I was coming out of Double-A at the time.
But you got him out.
Yep, and then I went to the ground on my knees, and that was that.
That makes for a good story now. One out, Smith at first base after the leadoff walk, and here is Montero. Weak ground ball. Crone gets the handle. Weaver at first for out number two. Smith into second base. Oh, and you head to Safeco Field on Friday, October 2nd. You could be flying out of the ballpark with 2 round-trip tickets courtesy of Alaska Airlines. It's one of dozens of prizes that will be given away all night long as part of Fan Appreciation Fireworks Night. Stop by mariners.com/fan for tickets. Two outs, and for the second straight inning, the Mariners have a runner in scoring position. It was Seager that doubled in the first, and now Smith the walk. And he advances into second on the ground ball out for Montero. Miller just 2 for 15 in his career against Weaver. Rocket, right field by the pole, and it is a foul ball. Allowed strike 2.
And Brad, of course, looking for his 10th home run of the year. I'd like to get into double digits, and he had a fastball 84 just out in front of it a little bit. You mentioned the numbers that he has against Weaver. I thought looking at the lineup today, this would be an interesting matchup. Brad is a really good fastball hitter. And, of course, Weaver is going to constantly change speed. Started him off with the slow curveball and came back with that fastball in the middle of the plate.
Smith out there at second base, 2 outs. And Miller behind 0-2.
And Weaver right back to the curveball.
They got Cano on that curve at 68 miles an hour to end the first. Miller stays alive.
Barely getting a piece of the changeup. Well located by Weaver right on the outside corner.
Now for Miller, his next home run would tie a career high. He slugged 10 homers last year. Sitting on 9 right now. Hard hit but foul. Still 1-2. Another cool night here this evening. You can see many bundled up here inside Safeco Field. First pitch temperature at 66. The roof wide open tonight. Plenty coming well prepared. Last night it was even a little cooler. It was just about 59 at first pitch last night. Two and two. Two out, Smith at second. Miller, a little flare. Here comes Murphy. Keeps his feet for out number 3, and the Mariners strand a runner at second base for the second straight inning. We are out to the third, no score. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast, and by AM/PM Too Much Good Stuff. Glad you can join us tonight for Mariners baseball on Root Sports. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers, our entire Root Sports crew as we go to the top of the third. Carlos Perez, the catcher, leads things off and looks at a first pitch strike.
Perez had a good night last night. He ended up 3 for 4, scored a run, had a couple of doubles.
Really was a career best night for the rookie out of Venezuela. 3 hits, that was a career high. A couple of doubles, as you mentioned. Made his major league debut earlier this year in Anaheim against the Mariners. Tiptoeing the line, a fair ball. Perez into second base. Now the hot hitting continues for the Angels catcher.
And one of the doubles he had last night looked just like that when a ground ball right down the line. We'll take a look at our Alaska Airlines Supermo and the swing by Perez out in front of the pitch. And right over the corner of the base, Alan Porter, third base umpire, making the call right away. Again, it doesn't have to hit the chalk after the base. If it goes over the base and ends up in foul territory, it's still a fair ball. And that looked like it went right over the corner.
Sure did. So Perez is at second. Here is Ryan Jackson. Back to Iwakuma. Nobody's home at third. Long throw in the stretch by Cano. Well, last night it was Featherston who had such the rough night trying to bunt in the number 9 spot. It's Ryan Jackson who gets the start tonight at second base, hitting ninth, and was able to drop it down. And last night, as we take a look at our Seattle City Light power play, it was David Murphy with the biggest swing of the night off of Felix in the third inning.
He's really swung the bat well for the Angels, and you see it bounces right off the top of the wall. It goes into the stands. His 9th home run on the year.
So the Angels, with 1 out and a man at third, will not need a hit to get the run in.
And the Mariners have their infield about halfway in, not all the way in on the grass. The reason why they do that in this situation halfway instead of all the way in is because of the base runner Perez. He's the catcher. He does not run well. So you're trying to stay back a few steps just to give yourself a little bit more range.
Iwakuma behind 2-0.
I think if they had somebody like Murphy who's hitting now, or maybe even Calhoun, Trout, if they were on third base, they would be all the way in. Managers typically don't like to do that because it creates a lot of holes, easier for the ball to get through on the ground ball. So here they can get a little more range and still make the play at the plate.
Perez the double, moved over on the sac bunt by Jackson. To Cano, who comes home, and Perez is out. Oh, that was tailor-made for Cano.
And it's a good example of why you can play about halfway as opposed to going all the way. And you see the runner Perez, he takes off right away, so they're going on contact. Again, he does not run well. Even though the throw was up the line a little bit, good play by Sucre to stay with it. Plenty of time for Cano to get him out at the plate. And you can see Sucre, I think he's okay. He's still up the line. Base runner had a chance to slide to the back part of the plate, and obviously the throw ended up taking him into the runner a little bit, so he's okay. You're not allowed to block the plate today, but sometimes you don't have any choice if that's where the throw is going to take you. It was a good play by Sucre. Here's another look. You can see him out in front, then he has to go adjust to make the play. Nothing wrong with that.
2 outs. That brings in Calhoun. And if you're Scioscia, that's obviously the risk you run if you send the guy in contact that the ground ball in this case will go right to one of the guys who has the most accurate arm in the infield in Cano.
No, you're right. And I think we've talked about the numbers, and they're last in hitting, 13th in runs scored. He's probably willing to take a few more chances because it's been difficult for them to score.
One ball and 1 strike to Calhoun, who broke an 0 for 17 slide with his base hit in the first inning up the middle. This has really been a career season for Calhoun. 23 homers, 75 RBIs.
And for the most part, he's picked up 75 RBIs in the leadoff spot. That's a lot of production.
He has hit in 6 different spots in the order this year, but mostly, as Mike's saying, at the top of the order. But he has been moved around a little bit. Former product of Arizona State, played for Pat Murphy there for the Sun Devils. We had a chance to meet Pat Murphy earlier this year in interleague play. Now managing the Padres, at least for the rest of the season, taking over for Bud Black. When you talk to Pat Murphy, you feel like you're talking to a Texas high school football coach. You really do. Cuts right through it. He will come with a fastball, and Calhoun down swinging. And as we go to the bottom of the third, it'll be Jesus Sucre to lead things off, then Marte and Kyle Seager when we come back. By T-Mobile. Bottom of the third inning for the Mariners. We'll start off with catcher Jesus Sucre. Weaver bends him back for ball 1.
The Mariners able to get runners in scoring position in the first 2 innings, just haven't cashed them in yet.
Had the Seager double in the first. Smith walked and moved over to second base with a ground ball out in the second. Soft pop up. C.J. Cron, foul ground. And out number 1. Well, we have another high school football game of the week tomorrow, brought to you by Acura of Bellevue. Tune in to see the Bonnie Lake Panthers battle the Auburn Mountain View Lions at 7 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss your favorite local teams in action this season right here on Root Sports. One quick out that brings in Marte, trying to extend a 6-game hitting streak.
Flew out to left field his first time up.
What a year it has been for Marte when you really think about the production that he had in the minor leagues, and then being selected to the AAA All-Star game, the Futures game, which has become such a big deal around baseball this year, played right before the All-Star game. It's here in Cincinnati. And then eventually called up to Seattle and has been an impact player at the top of the lineup.
That's been the most impressive part to me. As well, his defense has been pretty solid too. That's been good to see. But going right into the leadoff spot and seeing pitches, using the entire field, not trying to do too much. Understanding that speed is a big part of his game.
Lloyd has been very impressed. He said that a number of times about Marte's play. When we talk about some players who have elite level speed, like a James Jones, or you look at Billy Hamilton in Cincinnati, there's so much emphasis on hitting the ball on the ground instead of in the air. Is that hold true for the speed that Marte has? Not as great as some of those guys, but is it still an emphasis?
I think so. I think he's thinking more line drive, ground ball like that right there, because he can pick up some hits.
Ibar on the run, not in time.
Great example of it right there, and I think he understands that, and that's what we've seen. It doesn't mean that he's not going to hit the ball in the air from time to time, but he's not a guy that's going to really drive it into the gaps or hit it out of the ballpark. This is where he's going to make his money. Infield ground ball. Ibar, a veteran shortstop, can really play the position, and it's about as well as you can do it. And you can see he beats it by a step.
Beats it easily. One out base runner for Seager.
And I think that where he's at now at first base, that's an area where he's going to continue to learn and work as far as his leads go, getting better jumps. He's certainly fast enough to steal bases, but I think he can do it at a greater clip. But he still needs to learn more. Again, a very young player. The thing that I like, and it's something that I talked to Lloyd about, Trent Jewett the other day mentioned it also, is when you have guys like that are on base, then Kyle comes up there. You get so distracted by the runner and worried that maybe he makes a few more mistakes to the hitters, especially the guys that can do the damage like Kyle.
Yeah, Cruz right behind him, and then Cano. One out, one on, a ball and a strike to Seager. Now you mentioned the steals for Marte. 7 steals and 10 tries so far this year in the big leagues. And another look.
And you can see how much attention they're going to pay to him. You see the same thing when O'Malley's on the bases. Obviously, James Jones requires a lot of attention.
Ball and 2 strikes to Seager. Having a nice night at the ballpark tonight. And that baseball, we're told, given to him by Mike Trout in between innings. Not a bad souvenir to take home. There goes Marte. Way offline with a throw. Marte on to third. Well, that infield single has suddenly turned into a triple.
Well, and you can see Perez rush the throw, goes back up the line. It actually looks like it hits Marte in the leg. Now the Angels will bring their infield in as he moves around to third on the throwing error. And Mike Scioscia trying to find out whether he actually touched the base or not. And you could see Marte when he slid into second. It's going to be close. Kerwin Danley, the umpire, out at second base. Looked as if he was standing right there and looking at it. And we'll take another look at it. See if his foot reaches the base or not. Hard to tell. And I'm not sure that he touched it. So we'll see. They're going to appeal it. And again, Kerwin Danley was looking right at it.
And here's the throw.
Yeah.
And he's out. Now the Mariners can appeal this, and we'll see if Lloyd chooses to do so.
Well, Lloyd's had plenty of time to find out too, and you can see right here it looks to me as if he misses it. And you can see Kerwin Danley, the umpire, looking right at it.
Need a great look.
Now give Marte a little bit of a break here. He probably assumed that he was going to touch the base, and then the ball hits him in the leg, ricochets in the center field. He was trying to find it.
Meanwhile, Seager to the track. Calhoun has the room. And that is how this inning comes to a close. Presented by Delta Airlines. We'll hear from that man, Lloyd McClendon. Hisashi Wakuma getting the start tonight. That'll be Angie and Bill with you post game. That's tough, Mike. You go back to the way that bottom of the third ended, the caught stealing, as it turns out, with Martin. Instead of a run coming in on what would have been a sacrifice fly by Kyle Seager, which this is the second straight night that he's met Calhoun at the wall.
Right.
And instead, it ends the inning.
Well, again, we just finished talking about it with Marte being such a young player and the different things that happened in the game. And it was one of the things that Lloyd addressed after the game last night. And that was Marte trying to steal. He ended up getting thrown out, and it was more about his slide. It wasn't a very good slide. He obviously isn't trying to slow down on his slide. He ended up getting his knee in the ground a little bit further than he wanted to, and then of course he missed the base right there. Those are things, little things that you pay attention to, and again, he's going to learn that. He's going to make mistakes, and he's going to learn those things. For me, just watching him, I like the pressure that he applies to the defense, and we saw that with an errant throw for Perez, the catcher.
And the constant lookovers from Weaver.
Yes, threw over a number of times.
Ball and 2 strikes to Trout, leading off the Angels' 4th inning. Trout, a strikeout victim already once tonight. Now, the way the first half of this season was going for the Angels, and more specifically for Mike Trout, you really thought that he was putting up numbers that would make him an MVP once again. And he strikes out now for the second time. But with the Angels slide, and with the Blue Jays playing so well, as you can see, the rain starting to fall here from Safeco Field.
And here's the split. Great look at the grip by Iwakuma, down out of the strike zone. That pitch set up by the fastball that was up and in at the top of the strike zone. The pitch before at 88 miles an hour comes back with the splits, so he speeds him up.
1 out for Pujols. The shift is on. We've seen the Mariners do that against Albert a number of times already this series.
He was completely fooled in his first at bat, Aaron, and you and I were talking about it as we went to break, and still hit it to the warning track and left. He's out in front of it. Trumbo able to make the catch, but
that seems like the second time at least this series that he has been out in front and really just kind of flicked it with the bat on what you would think would just be a little lollipop about medium depth, and it took all the way Trumbo all the way to the wall.
Well, and that's
almost
the way that Mark Trumbo in left field read it too, because he actually took a step in and had to retreat to the warning track. It was still an easy play for him, but he was fooled by the swing as well.
And really, we saw in the first half what Pujols can still do when he's fully healthy. Now, the foot injury on his right foot, and you wonder what his second half would be like if he had the health that he had in the first half. Easy play for Iwakuma. Soft toss. Montero receives it for out number 2. But for Pujols, it really has been the story of 2 different halves this year. A strikeout, a ground out, and here is C.J. Cron. Now, for an offense that has needed run producers this year, Cron has been that lately. 13 RBIs his last 13 games. Cron, a former first-round draft pick, very much a part of the Angels' future plans, and has been up and down a number of times this year, playing well lately. And Iwakuma ahead, 0-2. Mariners 6-2 in Iwakuma's last 8 starts. And opponents have barely been able to get to Hisashi at all, batting .204 in that span. As Iwakuma, another breezy 1-2-3, this time top of the 4th. He retires the side in order for the second time tonight. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, the roof closing here at Safeco Field. Mariners and the Angels on our way to the bottom of the fourth inning. Boy, can't beat that view. Well, we've been talking a little bit off and on tonight about the game going on in Arlington, and it has come to a close. Mike, this wasn't even close.
Big night for Prince Fielder. You can see a couple of home runs, now 21 on the year, 5 RBIs in the game. Rangers have won 4 in a row, and you're right. Again, they batted around in the first inning, so I'm sure Houston, after losing the game last night, thinking, well, that's okay. We have Dallas Keuchel going tomorrow. He's been fantastic this year, and obviously things didn't go well for him.
Keuchel rocked 9 earned. That's a career high. 4 2/3 innings. Cruz 0 for 1. He leads off the bottom of the fourth, facing Weaver. Nelson 1 hit shy of tying a career high that he set last year as a member of the Orioles. Last year 40 home runs from Nelson Cruz. This year 42, the most home runs in baseball by a good margin too since the start of last season. And you can see 2 of the best home run hitters in that span in this ballpark tonight in Cruz and Trout.
An impressive list of sluggers.
Trout like usual in center field. And speaking of the home runs for Cruz, he has really victimized the Angels. 27 home runs against Anaheim. He has homered more against the Angels than any other team in his career. Murphy having a race towards the line, can't get there, and Cruz has picked up hit number 166 on the season. That ties a career best.
And you can see him laughing about it at first base. It looks like he gets jammed a little bit, and he does, right off the hands. He is so strong, though, still able to hit it out into left field.
Leadoff man reaches for the Mariners. That brings in Robinson Cano, who has really put together nice numbers and a pretty healthy amount of at-bats against Weaver in his career, batting .372 against the right-hander. He socks this high, but Calhoun well in front of the track. Comes in for out number 1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. One out, 1 on for Seth Smith. Roof almost to a full close. Fielding some rain here tonight. Cruz at first base for Seth Smith. Seth must like this time of year with college football starting up. The former backup quarterback to Eli Manning at Ole Miss. Still very much a huge football fan. Perez going after it, and he can't get there nearly enough time as Seth Smith is able to reach on an infield single. Cruz into second.
Running fastball, 84 miles an hour, right off the end of the bat. You can see where the defense was aligned. Freeze well off the line and playing back. No chance for him.
A full on swinging bunt there from Smith. He's reached for the second time in as many tries. A walk earlier.
Well, the Mariners And had runners in scoring position in 3 of the 4. Need somebody to come up with a big base hit.
First pitch on the way to Trumbo. That's 68-mile-an-hour curveball. Mark last night saw his on-base streak come to a close at 16 games. That was the 3rd longest of his career. Former All-Star with the Angels, was born in Anaheim. High to left center. And Murphy sprinting in, the chest-high catch. Two outs and 2 on. Well, this is good news. Bark in the Park is back, and it's coming your way Tuesday, September 29th. This special offer includes a ticket for both you and your dog, a Mariners dog bandana, and an invitation for all 4-legged fans to walk around the bases post-game, of course. It's all for only $40. Tickets are available only at mariners.com/bark. Cruz at second base, Smith at first, 2 outs for Montero. Now, normally you figure against a right-hander you would see Logan Morrison in the starting lineup, but it is Jesus tonight, and for one reason, 5 for 10 lifetime against Weaver with 4 homers.
That's good enough to get you in the lineup.
Clubbed left field. Murphy looking up, and it's gone. Right on cue. Jesus Montero, a 2-out, 3-run line drive homer. And the Mariners have taken the lead.
And Jesus, one of the few that has been able to time the curveball. 68 miles an hour on the curveball in the middle of the plate. Perfect timing on that pitch as he hits into the back of the bullpen.
Well, the funny thing about Montero's numbers, and you can see him here now updated against Weaver. Lloyd was asked about this. The last time Montero saw Weaver was in 2012. So you figure Weaver's a little different. Jesus certainly different. And the question was posed, well, does it really matter since those numbers were from such a long time ago? And Lloyd, after a long look, said, oh, it matters. Jesus knows it, and Weaver knows it.
I agree with that. I think he also had a little bit of the benefit of having Mark Trumbo hitting in front of him, because he threw a couple of slow breaking balls to Trumbo, and it looked to me as if he was just sitting on that waiting for the curveball, because his timing at 68 miles an hour was perfect. So standing on deck watching Trumbo's at bat, I think he was looking for it.
And the bottom line is you're not really used to timing 68 miles an hour in this league.
No, if you think about it, for these guys, it's well below the hitting speed, and it has to be difficult. They're so used to seeing 95 all the time.
3-run homer from Jesus Montero, his 6th in his career in 12 at-bats against tonight's starter Jared Weaver. 3-0 Mariners. Montero, home run number 4 on the year. That has given the Mariners now a 3-0 lead. Well, let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. An off day for the guys tomorrow. Then it's on to Globe Life Park in steamy Arlington, Texas for 3 games against the Rangers. Then another off day on to face the first place Kansas City Royals from the K.
Last road trip of the year, Aaron.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
It really is.
A long road trip at that. And we'll finish off in Anaheim against these Angels. Ibar leading things off in the top of the 5th. Iwakuma now working with 3 runs in his favor. And for Hisashi, 5 early strikeouts, and it seems like they've all been on the splitter.
And even with that, he's in great shape with his pitch count, 53 pitches so far. Done an excellent job with his split tonight, keeping it down out of the strike zone. Getting the Angels to chase it.
Off the hands, jammed him a little bit, but a lot of carry. This turns Smith around. It's off the wall. Ibar into second base as that throw is skied, but Ibar stays put. Now, it looked like Mike, it was off the hands, but with the way that ball flew, maybe it wasn't.
Well, we'll take a look at it. It's a fastball elevated. He's able to get it to the inside corner.
Just kept his hands in tight.
Yeah, he was able to get just enough of the barrel to it to hit it off the middle of the fence.
Well, Ibar not a guy you think of hitting for a ton of pop, although he gets on base at a good enough clip. Leadoff man aboard for David Freese here in the top of the 5th inning. Well, the pitching for the Mariners this month has been exceptional, especially compared to what it has been over the rest of the season. The Mariners entering tonight an ERA of 2.86. As a staff, that is the best mark in the major leagues this month. And even add to that, and Iwakuma has been a big part of this equation as well. An opposing average of 2.11. That is the lowest in the major leagues this month. So a lot of good things for Mariners pitchers, making Rick Waits very happy. Oh, 2 to Freese, and it gets him swinging. 3 pitches, all strikes, and Freese down on strikes for the second time.
Well, after the first pitch fastball, it is a couple of splits in the dirt. Excellent job by Sucre to keep it in front of him.
Hot hitting Carlos Perez, who has 3 doubles in his last 4 at-bats dating back to last night.
Doubled down the third baseline his first time up, right over the bag at third.
Mike, we talked earlier about the similarities between the changeup from Felix and the splitter from Iwakuma in terms of a similar action, although the velocities are different. But is the bottom line the same? If you're a hitter and you're standing in there facing Iwakuma, when it comes out of his hand, you're thinking fastball the whole time, and then all of a sudden, there it goes.
The key to it is it has to appear that it's going to be in the strike zone. And when you talk about Felix's changeup or Iwakuma's split, they both look like they're going to be at the knees or above the knees, and you go to attack it, and it's, by the time you recognize what that pitch is, it's too late and it's down out of the strike zone. Now, to make that effective, you have to command the fastball, and Felix and Iwakuma, 2 of the best at that.
One and one now to Perez. 1 out, and Ibar at second base.
The amazing thing to me is Felix more with the changeup grip, the circle change. and that he can throw it at the velocity at times 90 miles an hour and still get that kind of action on it. That is something you cannot teach.
It's kind of a freak of nature type pitch.
You can't teach it. It's special to him. That's the reason why it's one of the best pitches in the game.
One of the best compliments we've heard an opposing hitter give Iwakuma about the splitter was from one of the best right-handed hitters of a generation, and that was Miguel Cabrera. He called Iwakuma's splitter the butterfly because right when you go to swing at it, it flutters right beneath the barrel of your bat.
Yeah.
That's coming from Miguel Cabrera.
Well, and that gives you an idea how late the action is on it, too. Guys can pick it up earlier. Obviously, they wouldn't chase it as much, but with his split, it dives right out in front of the plate.
On the corner, strike 3 call. Seven strikeouts for Hisashi Iwakuma. Back-to-back punch-outs for Freeze, now Perez.
And there you can see the grip of the split right outside the seams.
That's a great shot of it.
Matt Joyce going to pinch hit for Ryan Jackson.
Well, Joyce, the former Tampa Bay Ray, was given the left field job this year by Mike Scioscia and really struggled this year. And at this point, he has been assigned pinch hitting duties. Essentially, we know all the moves that the Angels did at the deadline to bring in new corner outfielders: De Jesus, Murphy, Victorino. Murphy getting the start tonight, leading off. But one of the major offensive struggles this year for the Angels, trying to find some offense from the left fielder, whoever it might be.
Joyce is 4 for 14 in his career off of Iwakuma.
One and one. Ibar, the leadoff double off the wall in right field. With an Iwakuma, a strikeout to Freeze and a strikeout looking to Perez. All three Mariners runs coming on the home run from Montero at the bottom of the fourth. Ball and 2 strikes to Joyce. Trout tonight, a couple of strikeouts, both on the splitter. Pujols 0 for 2. Angels no runs on 3 hits. Keep in mind, Kuma, the last time we saw the Angels here at home, 8 scoreless. Right before the All-Star break. Just barely got a piece back to the glove of Sucre. And with that, Iwakuma strikes out the side. He's got 8 punch-outs through 5 innings. with the Angels as we take a look at our Lexus pitching matchup, Iwakuma versus Weaver, and you can see the 8 strikeouts now for Iwakuma. That ties a season high.
He has had great command of everything tonight. And fortunately for him and the Mariners, a little bit of run support provided by Montero with a 3-run homer.
In the lineup tonight for a reason against Weaver.
Montero, his 4th home run since joining the club.
One and one to Sucre. Sucre, Marte, and Seager all due up here in the bottom of the 5th. Mike, I think one of the takeaways watching Weaver tonight, the first time we've seen him since opening day, is that his delivery is completely different. Maybe not completely different, but it's drastically different than what we're used to seeing for the last just 10 years.
He's made some adjustments, clearly not throwing across his body as he used to. When you take a look at it, he used to step more towards the third baseline and then throw across his body. One of the reasons why he's always been tough on right-handed hitters, especially when his velocities were around 90.
I wonder if the hip has anything to do with that. Missed some time of the DL with the hip injury.
Well, clearly he's had his struggles this year, and you try to make adjustments to it. So maybe he and Mike Butcher, the pitching coach from the Angels, have come up with something different in his delivery.
Hard hit and right under the glove of Ibar. Sucre leadoff single.
He's going to get a high fastball, 83 miles an hour, right in the middle of the plate, elevated, top of the strike zone. Gives you an idea of how good you have to be when your velocity is down. Pitches in the middle of the plate. Hitters at this level aren't going to miss them.
Curveball low to Marte.
Marte 1 for 2. Had an infield hit his last time up.
An infield single extended Marte's hitting streak to now 7 games. Snared on a line by Cron. Double play.
A bad break for the Mariners as Marte hit that right on the button. Nothing that Sucre could do is getting a secondary lead, and by then no chance to get back.
Well, sometimes the Babbitt monster will get you right by the ankles, and Marte could not have hit that one much harder. Blink your eyes, 2 outs. Seager, the double back of the first inning, was stranded at second base. For Kyle now 33 doubles on the season. Only Cano has more on the Mariners with 34. And now Honora have to have a word. And Kyle now maybe more emphatically calling for time. You can see he and Weaver having a little bit of a conversation, Mike. Comes right in and hits him, and Weaver's been tossed. You could see that coming.
Kyle is allowed to ask for time as he's getting ready in the batter's box. Obviously, Weaver didn't like that, but it's up to Kyle. And you have to wait for the hitter to be ready. The home plate umpire, Brian O'Nora, was giving him the time, and Weaver was trying to rush him along, and Kyle didn't like it. That's what started it. And it's interesting that Freese had been hit the first 2 nights, the Angels' third baseman, and now Kyle gets hit right there. And Brian O'Nora immediately tossed him.
Yeah, no question about that. You can see O'Nora right away running Weaver. And we look here at the original timeout called by Seager.
This is something Kyle does all the time. He does it every at bat. And he's letting Weaver know I wasn't ready. And then Weaver didn't like that, and he starts saying something. Kyle right back at him. And Kyle does that every time. In between every pitch, he'll put his hand back waiting for time, and when he's ready, he'll grab the bat, and then he's ready to go. And Weaver apparently didn't like it.
Now, rarely do you see this kind of emotion from Seager.
No.
In fact, Mike, I can't ever recall a time we've seen Seager this vocal. And for his sakes, it's a good thing it's Jared Weaver and not Garrett Richards on the mound tonight.
That's a very good point.
Now, Weaver knew what his fate would be when he came inside. So we will have a new pitcher, to say the least. Seager at first base. Will step aside. Intentionally, Weaver run from the game. And Mike, we take a look at this again after the first timeout call. Seager a little more convincing this time, and now a conversation.
Well, then you can see right there, Kyle letting him know that he's ready, and then Weaver hits him with a pitch.
You can see the dugout for the Mariners, their reaction. And that's a no-brainer decision for Brian O'Nora, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, he has a running conversation between the two players, and O'Nora's the one that was giving Kyle the timeout. So there was nothing wrong with what Kyle was doing. So take a look at the numbers for Mike Morin. 35 appearances for him. ERA over 6. 26 innings, 30 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .270. He's given up 3 home runs. And when Kyle was getting the second timeout, we didn't have a chance to look at Weaver, but I'm sure Weaver was looking in, asking him, "Are you ready now?" And that's when Kyle said, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'm in here. I'm ready." And that's when he hit him with the pitch. But Kyle didn't. For me, he didn't do anything wrong right there. There was nothing wrong that he was doing. Again, if he was constantly stepping out or something, but he does that. He has that hand back for timeout till he's ready to go, and he does it on every pitch. And Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, was giving him timeout, so I don't know what the problem was.
Well, the most popular way to follow the action of Mariners baseball is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. You can enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat app now. So should continuing a conversation with Honora here.
Well, I think that Mike came out. This was for Mike Morin, because Brian Honora turned around and looked at the on deck circle where Cruz was at, letting him know there was 2 pitches, but Mike Morin was letting him know, I have 2 more pitches, I'm ready to go. He had as many as he wanted to throw, and I think Socha was coming out to make sure that his pitcher was ready.
Gotcha.
So there wasn't a problem there. Mike just wanted to make sure that Morin was ready to go, good and loose.
Well, after all of that, Cruz will dig in and be the first man to face Mike Morin. Really, when you go back to that hit by pitch, the reaction that really counts the most is what we saw from Weaver, which was no reaction for getting thrown out, meaning that when he released that pitch, he knew that would be the result.
I think you're right. I think it was pretty simple. He had a point he was going to make. Yeah. He made it, and that was going to be it.
And it was. Check swing, appeal to Ghost. Mark Rippinger, the first base umpire tonight. Count goes to 2-1 on Cruz. For what it's worth as well, with Brian Honora, he has been around for a long time, nearly 20 years as a major league umpire, and he's been a postseason umpire plenty of times, including last year. So he's been around the block.
Well, I think that he made the right decision, as you mentioned, Aaron. I think that Weaver also agreed with him, because there was no argument at all.
Weaver made it pretty easy for him.
He didn't argue the fact at all.
Cruz caught looking, a fastball from Morin, and that'll end it for the Mariners in the 5th.
Yes, let's talk a little college football. Just days away from our first game of Big Sky action this season on Root Sports, presented by your local Ford stores. We will be in Cheney, two of the best teams in FCS football, going head-to-head. The Bobcats of Montana State on the Inferno turf, taking on the Eagles of Eastern Washington. Kickoff coming your way at 1 o'clock Pacific time this Saturday. Yours truly, Jason Stiles, Jen Mueller. We hope you'll join us for that. Should be a lot of fun over in Cheney as we send it back to Aaron and Mike.
All righty, Tom, thank you. As we go to the top of the sixth, David Murphy will lead things off against Iwakuma.
This will be the third time through the lineup for the Angels. Murphy 0 for 2.
Now Murphy, a very familiar opponent for the Mariners, a former first-round draft pick by the Red Sox, but then traded to the Rangers. Long time at Arlington, played for Ron Washington for many years. In fact, he has more at-bats here at Safeco Field than any other road ballpark in his career. So Mariners fans have seen him a lot here in Seattle. Iwakuma behind 3-1. Out to center. Miller shows his number. Miller runs out of room. It's gone. Murphy homers in back-to-back ball games. It's the first run tonight for the Angels.
This will be on the fastball, 88 miles an hour, and you can see Sucre set up on the outside corner. That pitch middle in. Just out of the reach of Brad Miller.
That's a poke for Murphy. Calhoun, first pitch swinging. We've talked about the struggles offensively for left fielders for the Angels, and Murphy a 3-run homer last night, the solo shot here tonight of the 6th. At the start of this series, Angels left fielders had all of 7 home runs all season.
Like you were talking about, Aaron, Murphy, a late addition to the club, but he has 10 home runs on the year. Came into the game hitting .284.
He's been a good addition for them. It's been Murphy to start for the Angels against right-handers. Of course, nothing but right-handers in this series for the Mariners. It was Taiwan in game 1. Of course, Felix last night. Iwakuma tonight. And then Victorino against lefties. A very special basis tonight here at Safeco Field and around Major League Baseball on Roberto Clemente Day. The Hall of Famer with exactly 3,000 hits. One out, Murphy the homer, and it brings in Trout. Off the mound, and Cano plays it perfectly for out number 2.
He made that look pretty easy, but the ball was hit hard. It was like a rock skipping out the water, and he picked it clean.
Two outs for Pujols. 2. Pujols, a 3-time National League MVP. It's easy to forget that he finished second place 4 times. Came in second to Bonds in 2002, 2003. Was the runner-up to Ryan Howard in 2006, and then Joey Votto in 2010. And Trout came in second to Cabrera in 2012 and 2013. So certainly talked to somebody in his own clubhouse about what it feels like to be runner-up after a fantastic season.
And Bedrosian, the right-hander, getting loose in the pen for the Angels, along with the lefty, Wesley Wright.
Two and two. Now you look at Pujols. We've talked about the injury problems to the feet. He will be signed through the year 2021 for the Angels. That will be his age 41 season. The shift on for Pujols once again. 2 outs, bases empty. And the Iwakuma 2-2. Golf towards the pole and left, but looks foul.
And a good battle going on right now. Iwakuma staying with his fastball and split. He's not throwing him the breaking ball. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Earlier this year, Pujols joining the 500 home run club. That was close, but inside. It was Murphy to begin this inning with the home run out to center, then a couple of ground ball outs to second. Crone on deck. And with Crone's power, you would rather not face him with a 2-run lead with a runner at first base if Pujols were to reach with 2 outs. Strike 3 call. The curveball gets Pujols. A new season high in strikeouts for Iwakuma. He's punched a ticket of 9 Angels hitters tonight. Well, time now to take a look at our T-Mobile Data Strong fan photo of the game. Joanne, thanks for tuning our way tonight. The rubber game of this series, Mariners and the Angels. And right now the Mariners holding a 3-1 lead. All runs so far tonight coming home on a couple of home runs. A 3-run blast by Montero. David Murphy, a solo shot in the top of the 6th. And it'll be Robinson Cano to lead things off in the home half. Facing a new pitcher, it is Wesley Wright up on the mound, the third pitcher tonight for the Angels.
Well, we saw Cam Bedrosian getting loose, so just a couple of batters for Wright. 6 appearances on the year.
Through the right side, a base hit. Cano's first hit tonight. We'll take a look now at our Big Fish Casino. Big catch, and it comes from that man Robinson Cano, but defensively thrown out Perez at the plate.
Plenty of time to make a strong throw to home. Good play by Sucre. Throw up the line a little bit, but you can see him make the catch, hang on to the ball as he puts the tag on Perez.
Now the count to 2,000. One hit closer for Cano. First pitch strike to Smith. Farquhar beginning to warm up for the Mariners. Boy, Mike, what a way for Iwakuma to end the top of the 6th, getting Pujols looking on a pitch at Albert.
It was really smart pitching, and I just mentioned it. He was going at him the whole time with the fastball and split. Had not shown him the breaking ball. Goes to 3-2. That curveball was the last thing that Albert was going to think he was going to see in that at bat, and he was able to catch the inside corner on it.
Up the middle, nice pick. The shovel to Ibar and the double play. Featherston, the man at second base now, took over for Jackson.
And Mike Scioscia immediately out of the dugout. He's going to make a pitching change. Take a look at the backhanded play. We'll flip it to him in his glove. And once it gets to Ibar, it's an easy double play.
It'll be Cam Bedrosian coming on to pitch for the Angels. A short night for Wesley Wright. Will step aside. with 2 outs, and that leads us right to our Columbia Bank difference of the game. It was one big swing from Montero, who has had fantastic numbers against Weaver, and Mike, this is the reason why.
Yeah, 5th home run off of Weaver in just 12 at bats. Was able to hit out a 68-mile-an-hour curveball 3-run home run for Montero. His 4th home run since joining the Mariners, and he'll wait on deck as Mark Trumbo will step into the batter's box.
We'll face a new pitcher, Cam Bedrosian.
27 appearances, ERA over 5. Opponent's hitting .306, giving up 3 home runs.
It was Cano with the leadoff single on the first pitch into right field, but then a double play ball from Seth Smith that was started by Featherston, the second baseman.
I saw Bedrosian in the first game of this series. He has a good arm. He'll be in the mid-90s.
Evens it up 1-1. He made his major league debut last year with the Angels. Appeared in just under 20 games. Former first-round draft pick of the Angels. That was back in 2010. And a strike there on the bottom rung to make it 2-2. Now the Mariners would love to add a run at some point here in the late frames to keep it from being a bloop and a blast to tie it up for the Angels. Gets him looking. Boy, that is a tough pitch. Lower outside corner, and the Mariners sat down in order despite the leadoff single. On Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. If the Mariners win, mention Mariners for a free Jumbo Jack with purchase tomorrow at Jack in the Box. Now, Mike Iwakuma, awfully good tonight.
He was really good tonight. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. The solo home run by David Murphy. Did not walk a batter, a season high. 9 strikeouts. He threw 84 pitches, 58 of those for strikes. Really good command of his fastball. Great split tonight. James Jones going to take over in center field. Brad Miller moves from center over to left, so Trumbo's out of the game. And the new pitcher will be Danny Farquhar. Danny on the year, 35 appearances, 37 strikeouts, and 40 2/3. 17 walks. That was an issue for him earlier in the season. He's pitched much better lately. Opponent's hitting .270 against Danny. Good fastball in the mid-90s. Mix in a cutter at about 90-91. 12-6 curveball and a changeup.
bring up the fastball for Danny. We know that the cut fastball is a pitch that he really likes to go to, but when you looked at the numbers from Farquhar earlier this year when he was struggling and ended up going down to Tacoma, initially, Mike, I kind of assumed that it would be the cutter that got hit around, but really it was that fastball that they were just seeing the fastball much better than they did last year.
And his velocity wasn't where we were used to seeing it. And we mentioned him pitching better lately. That's a good curveball right there. His fastball is back. The velocity 93 to 95 miles an hour.
When you look at the curveball from Danny, that was really the pitch that helped make him the Mariners closer for a short while. Really helped to change the eye level. That was a pitch that, in addition to the four-seamer, the cutter, the occasional changeup, that was a difference maker. As he gets the fastball, they get Crone looking. Nice way for Farquhar to start the top of the seventh.
And again, it's a good fastball in the outside corner at 94 miles an hour. Well located. I think that the velocity has been better, a couple miles an hour, but his location on his fastball has also been much better, and that makes all the difference when you're pitching at this level. If you're falling behind and you throw the fastball at 91 in the middle of the plate, it's going to get hit. That looks like a cut fastball.
That's now 10 strikeouts from Angels hitters tonight. Iwakuma, season high 9. Trout has fanned twice. Pujols was the 9th strikeout victim tonight to end the evening for Iwakuma. Got him with the curveball. And we did not see many curves tonight from Iwakuma, but he broke it out on his final pitch of the night, rather.
He was saving it.
That's right.
Good timing. Carson Smith starting to get loose in the pen. And then Joe Beimel.
Ibar having a conversation with Brian O'Nora, the crew chief, home plate umpire. O'Nora's had a couple of conversations tonight. James Jones, the new center fielder, making sure it's his ball. Out number 2. For every strikeout recorded by a Mariners pitcher at Safeco Field, Holland America Line will make a donation to Seattle Children's Hospital Uncompensated Care Fund with a commitment of $25,000 for the 2015 season. The Mariners thank Holland America Line for their outstanding support. Two up, 2 down. Mariners by 2. Here is Freeze. Curveball, they appeal. He does not go. Freeze tonight struck out twice facing Iwakuma. Hisashi got him both times on the splitter. Really, when you look at Iwakuma's strikeouts tonight, really all of them, with the exception of the final strikeout to Pujols, came on the split.
Excellent split tonight. Was able to keep it down out of the strike zone.
Cracked the opposite way. Seth Smith nearing the track. The 2-hand squeeze and a 1-2-3. Top of the 7th from Danny Farquhar. Time to stretch from Safeco Field. It'll be Montero. And then Brad Miller and Jesus Sucre when we come back. stretch in your mind as you consider how Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list. Play today. Beautiful look at the Space Needle as we make our way to the bottom of the 7th. 66 degrees tonight at first pitch. The rubber game of the series, Mariners and the Angels. Pedrosian back out to work the last of the 7th. He'll face the bottom third of the order. It starts with Montero. The one swing from Jesus has accounted for all 3 Mariners runs tonight.
And it looks as if Pedrosian is going to pitch Montero the same as Trumbo. Bunch of fastballs, borderline down and on the outside corner.
Weak wave there. 0-2. Featherston, who came off the bench to play second, out number 1. I'll keep your eye on the bus. Follow us from a safe distance on Twitter at Sound Transit. Well, this much we know about the 2015 Mariners. They play a lot of close ball games. They are second in all of the major leagues in games decided by 2 runs or fewer. And that theme is holding true at least so far tonight. Freeze on the grass. Out number 2. Now Pedrosian keeping the ball on the ground, now facing Sucre. You know, Mike, when we talk about the offense for the Mariners, I'll be very interested to hear from Edgar Martinez when we get to Peoria next spring and find out what exactly his offseason was like. I don't really see Edgar as the guy who's going to be kicking his feet up all winter long.
No, you're right. He'll definitely continue to have conversations with the guys throughout the winter.
I have to think so. 1, 2, 3, very quick, bottom of the 7th. It's off to the top of the 8th. Mariners leading the Angels in the rubber game tonight, 3-1. We'll take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? It'll be Paxton, Nuno, and Felix up on the mound after tomorrow's day off in the 3-game series in Arlington at Globe Life Park. Gallardo, Hamels, and Holland. Boy, Sunday's rematch. Felix against Holland should be a good one, and it will not be easy against those three. Martin Perez getting the start tonight for the Rangers. Will not be seeing Colby Lewis. Logan Morrison taking over at first base for Montero. And Carson Smith, the new pitcher, in relief of Danny Farquhar, 1-2-3 7th.
And for Carson, 63 appearances on the year, a 2.61 ERA, 80 strikeouts in 62 innings. That is a big number for Carson. Opponent's hitting just over 200 against him. Good fastball. It'll be in the mid-90s with a slider. Occasional changeup to the left-handed hitter.
Looks like we will see DeJesus batting in the number 9 spot, but before then Carlos Perez. Pops a glove for a strike. Base hit up the middle, and what a series this has been for Carlos Perez.
And DeJesus will pinch hit.
No, Jesus Montero in the dugout right now, and it looks like he might have gotten a little dinged up on the last swing that he took. He was being tended to a little bit. We'll take a look at the swing. You can see not comfortable there at all afterwards. DeJesus on the first pitch. Number 99 comes in for round number 1. Buy early and save when you purchase single game tickets at a Mariners team store. There's no service charge. Plus, you'll receive 10% off all regular priced merchandise that day. So gear up when you buy tickets at any of the 5 Mariners team store locations.
Seeing the reaction of Montero right there. A lot of times, Aaron, especially against a good fastball, if you hit it off the end of the bat, the vibration can cause a lot of problems in your hand. You get some swelling in your fingers from it. But it looked like that's probably what happened to him, because it was a fastball off the end of the bat on that swing.
Murphy is homered in back-to-back ball games. Now the 3-run homer last night, the solo shot, and the 6th tonight, the lone run for the Angels so far this evening. Over Lobo's glove. Perez passes second. And the Angels have runners on the corners. Now suddenly the tying run is at first base.
It's a good pitch from Carson. Bad break. You can see how high the ball bounces as it hits the dirt. Logan Morrison holding the runner on at first. Didn't have a chance to keep it on the infield.
And he is now about to face the teeth of this Angels order. It's Colt Calhoun batting second. Beimel in the bullpen. And it's all right-handed hitters after Calhoun. Trout, Pujols, Cron, switch hitter Ibar. Only 2 lefties tonight for Mike Scioscia, the top 2 hitters in the order, Murphy and Calhoun. Smith ahead 0-2. Now Calhoun has not had a big series so far. He broke out of an 0-for-17 slide in the first inning with a single. But 23 homers. He's been a run producer as well, 75 RBIs. And he is the go-ahead run for the Angels.
And right now Carson needs a strikeout or a double play.
Calhoun stays alive. And Carson wanted to talk things over with Sucre.
You can see Sucre immediately after the pitch was fouled off. Calhoun turned his back away. He was looking at Carson and waving at his glove down. He wanted that pitch in the dirt. It's probably about belt high of the slider that he fouled off. There you can take a look at it. And I think that for Carson, you'd rather see that pitch ahead 0-2. Try to get the strikeout by throwing the slider in the dirt. See if you can get him to swing over the top of it.
Perez at third. Murphy at first, keeping an eye there. The 0-2, and he ties him up in on the hands. That is a big strikeout from Carson Smith. He really handcuffed him.
Well, it's exactly what Sucre was looking for. He wanted this on the previous pitch, calls it again, and there's a slider in the dirt. Excellent job by Sucre to keep the ball in front of him. Well located slider.
Two outs, runners still on the corners, and here is Trout. You can see the numbers against Smith. 5 at-bats, couple of strikeouts. This is power on power.
Tom Wilhelmsen getting loose in the pen for the Mariners. There's Tom. He's really been pitching well lately.
Gets a strike. Back-to-back sliders to start things off against Trout. Tying run, Murphy at first, Trout the go-ahead. And Carson ahead. There's the heat. Sosa's got the man he wants at the plate in this situation. Trout a home run last night, number 36 on the season.
I think right here it's either going to be the slider off the plate away or another elevated fastball. Slider.
And it gets them fishing into the other batter's box. Carson Smith. Back-to-back strikeouts, Calhoun and Trout. The Angels strand the tying run at first.
winner for this year. He entered the contest at the Mariners team store earlier this year, and today was the big payoff. It included a $1,000 shopping spree in the team store, a tour of Safeco Field, dinner in the Hit It Here Cafe, an interview on Root Sports, and that right there is the first item that he purchased, an Edgar Martinez jersey and a Dan Wilson signed baseball. That is all going home with him. And guys, how about this? It is his 1-year anniversary with his girlfriend Naomi. There they are. That's a pretty good way to spend an anniversary, although a high bar set for next year.
I'd say so. Hopefully Naomi likes baseball. $1,000 in the team store. That is a complete dream for a lot of Mariners fans. That's way overboard. That's fantastic.
That's a nice Christmas.
It really is. Save up. New pitcher, Cesar Ramos.
56 appearances. He's pitched well, a 2.23 ERA, 39 strikeouts, 12 walks, and 48 in the third. Opponent's hitting .276. He's only given up 2 home runs this year. At the top of the lineup, it'll be Marte, Seager, and Cruz due up for the Mariners. Marte 1 for 3 tonight.
Tough luck for Marte's last time up, a scorched line drive, which turned out to be double play at first base. Kubica now the third second baseman tonight. It was Jackson, then Featherston, now Kubica at second base for the Angels. Base hit for Marte. His second hit tonight. 8 hits his last 7 games now for Cattell.
Fastball down and in. Right on the barrel. Solid line drive for the switch hitter. Kyle off with the changeup right off the end of the bat.
And on Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines, coming up at the end of this one, we will have the entire breakdown of the Seager-Weaver at bat when Seager was hit intentionally by Weaver and he was running from the ball game. That'll be coming up after this one's over with. Tied to the line. Boy, Cronus had a nice night defensively in some places at first base. And Ibar immediately saying to Socha, take a look at this.
Well, he beat it there, and he's saying that when he popped off the bag, he still had the tag on him. You could see Marte reach down and try to put his hand back on the base. Tough luck for Kyle.
And Honora waving him over.
Take another look at the slide. He's going to hit it with the front foot and then pop up. And he's out.
Yeah.
Clearly came off the base right there, and Ibar, the veteran shortstop.
Ibar knew it right away.
I don't think it's going to take very long.
Kerwin Danley on the right, Honora on the left. And you're right, Mike, that might be an all-time record. That did not take long at all. Now Crone has started a couple of double plays that have reached him in the blink of an eye. Cruz swinging to the first pitch.
I think this is a new bat for Nelson Cruz. I've never seen the yellow bat.
You know, you're right.
Tom ready to go.
We've heard. How can you miss that one?
Yeah.
We've heard Nelson say before that, at least during his days last year with Baltimore, that he would not be opposed at times to walking past the bat rack before climbing into the on-deck circle and just grabbing a bat.
Oh, I've seen that before many times.
See how it feels.
And sometimes guys, they have their own model, swing the same bat. It gets a little bit stale, so they just want to try something different.
I feel like Lomo at times this year was swinging Nelson Cruz's bat. It was a heavier bat.
Right.
Worked out pretty well for Logan Morrison. You know, if Felix had a bat, Mike, it would be yellow, wouldn't it? Very bold.
I think it would be difficult for Nelson to just grab any bat out of the bat rack, because he probably swings the biggest bat on the team.
Seriously.
The heaviest.
Two and two. Rich Donnelly is on the warning track. He wants no part of a Nelson Cruz foul ball. Two outs and the 2-2. And he gets him spinning around a little bit. Cruz down on strikes. Third strikeout tonight from Nelson Cruz. We go to the top of the ninth. Tom Wilhelmsen coming on to close this one down.
The Angels and taking 2 out of 3 in this series. Here's what's coming your way on Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. We'll hear from the skipper Lloyd McClendon, get you some clubhouse reaction as well. Bills keys to the game, and the Rangers are rolling right now against the Astros. We'll take a close look at that series, which has been one-sided down in Arlington. We send it back upstairs to Aaron and Mike.
All right, Tom, thank you. Tom Wilhelmsen. Boy, he's been awfully good lately, hasn't he, Mike?
8 for 8 in save opportunities. See, over 10 2/3. ERA 0. Only sitting just 184 off of Tom. His fastball has been back. He's been able to command the strike zone. Good curveball. Good 12-6 curveball. Change up to the left-handers. But he's been dominant.
Little 3-out save is, at times, compared to what we've seen from Wilhelmsen this year at Walker the Park, his last save was a 5-out save. That was in Oakland. And he starts Pujols off with strike one. It's Pujols, Cron, and Ibar for Wilhelmsen here in the top of the 9th inning.
See Tom 10 for 10 in save opportunities, 55 in the third, 52 hits, 53 strikeouts.
Now if Tom could lock this one down tonight, it would mean a series win for the Mariners. And for the Angels, they have a tough road ahead. They're in the midst of a very lengthy 10-game road trip as they travel to Target Field. There's a pop-up. Sucre, a fling of the mask for round number 1. Four games at Target Field for the Angels coming up against the Twins. Keep in mind, the Angels entering tonight trailing Minnesota by 2 games in the wild card standing. And then after Minneapolis, 3 games in Houston for the Angels. So this is not an easy road trip at all for Anaheim. Pujols tonight, a rough night. He's got 0 for 4.
We're talking about Tom's fastball. That one at 96 miles an hour. We've seen him top out at 98.
The 0-2 doesn't bite on it. You know, Mike, we've talked about for Scioscia and the Angels the 1-2-3 of Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols, which we see in that order. Each and every night the Mariners play the Angels, and it really seems like that is a key to beating the Angels. If you can handle that trio, and Mariners pitching Iwakuma, Farquhar, Smith, and now Wilhelmsen have limited those 3. 1 for 12, and the one hit the single by Calhoun in the first.
You know, that's always going to be the key against this club. We talked about it earlier, and the struggles that they've had offensively. It hasn't been the case for those 3. The rest of the lineup, guys that are mixing and matching in and out of the lineup outside of Ibar, you have to be able to get those guys out. And then if you can keep Trout in the ballpark, Pujols in the ballpark, Trout with 36 home runs, Pujols 35, Calhoun with 23. You have a pretty good chance, but that's not an easy thing to do. So well done by the Mariners pitching.
A little flick and one skip. Ketel Marte and the pick at first base from Lomo. 2 outs.
We'll take a look at Logan Morrison. Not an easy pick. That ball came up on him quite a bit. Able to handle it.
And more times than not, Lomo makes that look pretty easy. Last hope for the Angels tonight. It is Eric Ibar. Everybody ready to celebrate a Mariners win. It would be a series win. 1-1. Iwakuma looking to go to 8-4 on the year. One and two. Well, some good heat there from Tom.
Not easy to register 96 when it's below the strike zone. That's exactly what Tom was able to do on that last fastball.
Wilhelmsen looking to go 11 for 11 in save tries this year. Here's a pitch away. All 3 Mariners runs tonight coming from The shot from Montero. Can that be enough tonight for the Mariners for a win and a series win? Very close. Boy. That changes things. Freeze on deck, 2 outs. To left. Miller was really far in, and he's not going to be able to track this one down. He was very shallow and near the line. Ibar into second base. And the Angels will bring the tying run up. Second double of the night for Ibar.
And in this situation, Tom did not want to walk him into throwing a fastball right in the middle of the plate. And as you mentioned, Aaron, Brad Miller in left field is playing shallow.
The reaction from Tom. Now facing David Freese. Freese hitless tonight, struck out twice against Kuma. So things getting a little more interesting here in the 9th inning.
Well, throughout this series, they've wanted to pitch him inside. Again, his power is out towards right center field.
He is the tying run. And will Humpson behind. Perez has been hot all series. A couple of hits tonight. He's on deck. There's a strike. Ibar in scoring position. In play, Marte. Picked by Lomo. The Mariners win it. They take the series 2-1.
Really good outing for Iwakuma tonight. 6 innings, just the 1 run, and the difference in this ball game offensively. Jesus Montero, his 4th home run, a 3-run homer. That was all the scoring for the Mariners.
Iwakuma gets the win. Will helps in the save, and the Mariners take the series to finish the homestand here from Safeco Field. Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. It starts right now with Angie and Bill. Guys, take it away.
All right, thank you so much. Coming